Alright, guys, we made it. We're here for Secret Invasion Episode 1. Give a warm round of applause for Disney. They finally dropped the series, even though they're having horrible strikes right now in Hollywood. Luckily for them, I guess, they had this series near completion before that happened. So good on them. They have a lot of problems down there. Woo! They'll bounce back, boys. It's Hollywood, alright? Now, let me state off, this is going to be a very short video. Very, very short. My initial thoughts just about the first episode, okay? I know episode 2 is out. I have not watched it yet. I've only watched episode 1, and I've only watched it once. Now, the reason why it's going to be short, I just simply don't have the time to do another, huge full breakdown. I'm working. It is Friday. I'm working this weekend. I'm also working Monday, which is crazy because it's the weekend of the 4th, which is very upsetting for me. I'm actually in the works of trying to get out of work Monday, but it's not looking hopeful. I wanted a party, boys. You know what I'm saying? But I'll still party Tuesday, but that's all right. Anyway, and I still got The Witcher dropped as well, I believe today or yesterday, and I got to do a review on that. It'll also just be my first impressions. I'm gonna try and get through that as fast as possible after all my work. I don't know when these videos are gonna come out, but it'll be there when it's there. And we'll see, where that goes. It's okay though. So just my first impressions about the episode. Everyone knows, if you've been watching my channel, I'm pretty much done with Disney and Marvel. They've upset me to no end with their shenanigans and their content. Phase 4 was a absolute disaster of just constant content that meant nothing and had no substance, so to speak. It was a horrible phase. Pretty much every movie and show in that phase was bad. The only one that was good was Spider-Man. It was their crown jewel in their, stream of shit. And Phase 5 is not faring so well either. And it's been a long time since we've actually had a new Marvel show. Not since She-Hulk, I believe. Well, I believe that was the last Marvel show. I can't remember another one. And so far, it's not good. I'm not happy with it. It's not completely horrible. I wouldn't say it's worse than She-Hulk yet. She-Hulk, obviously, we had a lot more time with. But this it's not a great start. Seems like they're already sort of dead on arrival. I think they already wasted their chance to do this sort of plot line. This is the sort of plot line that would make sense for an Avengers level threat, not just like its own TV show. And essentially, this a series, I believe, is the de facto sequel to Captain Marvel, and it seems like the next Captain Marvel movie is canceled. I'm not particularly sure on the details about that, but I just find that super hilarious, given Brie Larson's antics in her interviews, which is kind of funny. And I'll be honest, I remember really nothing about that movie. I did watch it. I didn't, I haven't watched it literally since it came out, and I believe it came out 2018-ish, so it's been a few years. I just, I vaguely remember, the plot of that movie. The details are lost on me, but that's okay. I mean, the show's definitely bringing, those characters from that movie. Talos is in there, and obviously we got Nick. Carol isn't in there yet. Brie Larson's not there yet. Will she appear? Who knows? It's just strange too, because she's gonna be in the Marvels. Why wouldn't they put her in this show too? So I assume she'll have her own cameo later on in the show, but that's all right. So, just my initial reaction to the show is it is very, very boring. It goes at a snail's pace. The tone is incredibly serious, which isn't bad. Marvel has this very recent problem. Ever since Phase 4 and the end of Phase 3, they just don't know how to correctly tone shift between scenes anymore, or of their products, right? And they get it wrong constantly. Um, this show has basically no comedy intertwined with it at all. Very little snippet. If there is comedy, it's lost on me because I didn't find anything funny about the show. If there were a few funny pieces of dialogue that just didn't hit it for me. Not that Marvel is actually doing that for me in the first place. So it's definitely taking this more serious tone. It's okay to have that. I just don't believe this serious. It makes sense for this aspect of Marvel because it's about Secret Invasion. The Skrulls are here, and they're taking over, right? But technically, they're not taking over. See, what I feel like they already lost the plot when they made the Skrulls good back in Captain Marvel's movie, instead of just having them be bad and then very slowly over the decades, intertwine themselves within the governments of humanity and then take over. This was supposed to be like a Avengers a level threat when all the scrolls are just taking over large pieces of the world's government. And in this show, it seems like uh, Nick Fury made no recollection to any Avengers that could like help him in whatever he's doing here. Even though it's still I don't like his character in this episode because he just comes back like he was forced to come back. He didn't want to because he left, and it's said that he changed after the blip, which is kind of crazy. I don't know exactly remember the time this show is supposed to take place in, but I guess it would be after Spider-Man No Way Home or Far From Home, actually. Yeah, Far From Home. Because that was after the blip, too. Nick was in that movie. He seemed perfectly fine doing whatever. And he had, like, an entire band of people that he was, like, rebuilding S.H.I.E.L.D. of some kind. Whatever operatives he had. Maria was in that show, in that movie as well. And they just seem fine. So I don't understand this whole thing. Like, after the blip, he changed. And he went to this new place called Saber. I guess he built Saber. Maybe it's a replacement to S.H.I.E.L.D. We don't know yet exactly. I assume that's what it's going to be made for. And it's just, why are they? He's a disheveled old man who's broken, and there are a bunch of characters just shitting on him constantly throughout this one episode, and I don't like it. That's like personal issues for me for like the Nick Fury character. As far as like what happened through the plot, I just don't understand. They're just making the scrolls bad. Now, there's a new like Splinter Cell of scrolls that are evil, and now they want to go home, but to do that they're like bombing civilians, like normal people, and killing them. Like, what are you doing? Just like ask the governments that know that apparently tons of people know the scrolls are alive. It seems apparently everybody knows that they're around taking over. Just like get them a ship to leave. You could call the Guardians, you could call Thor, you could call all your space buddies and the space buddy Avengers. You could call Pepper probably has some like new spacefaring technology. Who fucking knows? You could call any amount of people to like get rid of them if they really just don't want to be on Earth anymore. So I don't understand why they're making an enemy of Earth if they don't want to stay. Maybe this will be more elaborated more on in the future. I doubt it though. It seemed pretty crystal clear to me that the scrolls are just retarded, as well as Nick. He's just retarded too. I find it funny also that Marie Hill dies in this episode. Spoiler alert, she does. Or maybe it's not even her. Maybe she was also a Skrull. Who knows? Maybe the like pan ultimate like expression of this episode will be of this show. I mean, as a whole, will be like, who is a Skrull still? We'll get like end credit scenes at the end where Nick will like turn to the camera and then there's Skrull face. He's just a Skrull the whole time. Wasn't he Skrull the whole time already? Who fucking knows? No one knows, honestly. It's just everything seems misleading about this show in the first place. It's incredibly boring, very badly paced. I don't like the character interactions. The dialogue isn't very good. It's pretty standard, honestly, but it's not. There's like tons of like little mishaps between like what characters are doing and what they're saying, and they should be like doing that in a better way. Marvel just like lost the plot, honestly. This is just another one of their shows that'll be on the tail end that won't be remembered for, and it won't be useful for anything in the future. Especially since this like plot line will have nothing to do with the Kane plot line. I assume it won't anyway, but unless they decide to merge it, which would be fucking nuts. It's just like, why do this now? Why not do this after? Or maybe get rid of the Kane plotline and you can make Secret Invasion the whole pan-ultimate goal of your new Marvel. We can't have like two Avenger level threats like intermingling. So I'm guessing everything will be like resolved in this one like series, and that'll be that, and it'll be like nothing ever happened at the end of it, because we all after this we know again Nick is in the Marvels that's supposed to come after this, and it's actually we do know that is after this in the timeline of the show. So it's just crazy. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm not excited. I don't like it. I'm pretty bored of it actually. But next episode I'll do like a full breakdown. I'll express more of my thoughts later. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm out of time right now, unfortunately. So I hope you liked it. You guys have a nice day. See ya.